Studies show a majority of abused prescription drugs are obtained from family and friends, often from medicine cabinets in their own homes.
That type of misuse is expected to balloon this year due to the isolation and stress of the pandemic. Joining us now is author and healthcare attorney Harry Nelson. Harry, good morning. Good to see you.
Great to be with you guys.
A lot has changed since the DEA started its National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day. That was more than 10 years ago now. And it really has helped thousands of people nationwide get rid of unused prescription pills with no questions asked. How is that initiative going?
It's been a huge success. I mean, we have 13 million pounds, if you can imagine, of expired, unused, and unwanted drugs that have been collected by the DEA, have been turned in, and those are drugs that won't be accessible to people who might reach for them, which we know is one of the big pathways into addiction. So it's a positive thing. It also raises awareness of the dangers of prescription drugs and of opioids in particular, and the risks of addiction and of overdose.
Well, we all know that coronavirus is impacting all aspects of our lives right now. Experts say it's even impacting drug treatment services. Tell us how.
Yeah, it's been, well, first of all, the numbers are off the charts of overdoses. I mean, around the country, 40 to 70% year-over-year increases in the number of people who are overdosing. And the problem is that, as you mentioned, Frank, the drug treatment centers around America are closing, right? People were nervous when the pandemic started to go and be with other people, to be with programs, to be with other people getting treatment. And so programs were closing, doors closed for over 1,000 programs nationwide. And so there's much less treatment available today than there was a year ago, even as the problem is much worse.
Right. And Harry, October is National Talk About Prescriptions Month. What tips do you give people who may feel alone and are struggling with their addictions?
So I think the single most important message, Jessica, is that people need to know that they're not alone in this. This is a problem that's being felt everywhere, and resources are there. We saw the 12-step community, the anonymous meetings that have been a place for so many people to get support, move online. Those became virtual. And we've seen addiction treatment programs move to telehealth. And so there are resources out there. The main thing I would say to people is not to struggle alone and to recognize that you're part of a huge part of a huge group of people who are struggling with the same issue, and that help is here with us.
Last week, the Department of Justice announced an $8 billion settlement with Purdue Pharma over the way it marketed Oxycontin. Some of that money is going to local governments to help get addicted people treated. How will it help, and is that enough to make an impact?
So, okay, we have to remember, there was a nice event last week, $8 billion settlement with the federal government. We're still waiting for settlements between Purdue and state attorney generals across the United States and cities and counties. So $8 billion sounds like a lot until you remember that this is a $2 trillion problem. And the other issue is that a lot of this isn't real money that's come in yet. This is future earnings on drug sales. There are several $100 million that are actual real money now. But we need more money. We have a much bigger problem ahead of us. There's going to be other settlements. There's still plenty of other drug companies and distributors. So we're going to be seeing more funds come in, but it's not going to be anything close to enough. And we're going to really be needing to look for other solutions and other ways to get people the help they need.
And what is the state of California doing to help people that are suffering from addiction?
So the state of California has been, throughout this crisis, putting additional monies into the system, into the counties, into the Medi-Cal program, and has been trying to put resources out there, informational resources, so people know where to get help and to make sure that help is available. So I think we're seeing progress. We're seeing that this issue is being taken seriously, and that's the first step.
All right, Harry Nelson is one of the nation's leading healthcare lawyers. He's the founder and managing partner of Nelson Hardiman, LA's largest boutique healthcare law firm. Harry's also the author of the book, The United States of Opioids. Harry, thanks
for having me.
Thanks, Harry.